Everybody is talking about Fortnite. I'm sure just about all of you are fully aware of that. But just like most video games with this much of a reach, this much of hype, there is always plenty of misinformation that gets spread around and myths get formed and created. What is up, guys? Jimmy or Chaos. Welcome to Chaos Top 10s, and today we're going to be checking out 10 myths about Fortnite that you may have believed. So let's just jump into it. This month's giveaway is for a new PlayStation 4 console. All you have to do to enter is drop a like on this video, be subscribed to the channel, and turn on your notifications so you never miss an upload. And in the comment section, let me know why you want to win the PS4 and include your Twitter handle so I can contact you if you're the winner. The winner will be announced at the end of the month. Kicking off the list today is the one shield glitch that gives you one shield. Now, this is an infamous one shield glitch that has been in the game for months now, and quite honestly, I'm kind of shocked that it hasn't been patched out yet as of the making of this video, but I'm sure you guys are all familiar with it. This is a visual glitch that happens after you take heavy damage where your shield will be broken and you will start taking HP damage, but your HUD still says that you have one shield point left. However, the key words there were visual glitch, because that's all it is. The one shield glitch is just a glitch in the game's HUD, and it doesn't actually grant you any health. This glitch is also the reason why sometimes you'll break an enemy's shield, but they'll continue to pop blue damage numbers instead of white ones. But no people, the one shield glitch does not actually grant you any extra health. It is just a bug in the display that I really don't know why they haven't taken care of yet. At number 9, you can shoot between the beams of player-made structures. That's right. We have one that people still seem to think that they can do it, and honestly, I don't blame them. So as you guys know, when a player makes something out of wood, you can see in between the beams of that structure. While with brick, it's a little tougher, and with steel, you can't see anything at all. But with the wood structures, that gap between the beams is the biggest of all the materials. So, is it big enough for a bullet to get through, you may ask? Well, no, unfortunately is not. And if anybody tells you it is, they are lying to you. You can see through the cracks of wood and brick structures, but you cannot actually shoot a bullet right through them. The reason why some people think you can do this, however, is because there are certain structures on the Fortnite map with little gaps between the beams where you can shoot through those. So I don't blame people for thinking the same can be done for player-made structures, but it's just not true. If it's something that you build yourself, you cannot shoot through the gaps. At number 8, this is a common one. Different skins have different hitboxes. This is a pretty common discussion between players, as the different character skins in Fortnite are very obviously different in sizes in various ways, leading many players to think that they can actually have different hitboxes. However, this is not the case. While different skins may be different sizes around the shoulders, waist, and head, the hitboxes are not actually noticeably different. Now, the differences in sizes are already very small, but even when you are playing one of the smaller characters, the hitbox is still the same size. This is why if you shoot at a smaller character, you can sometimes land a hit on them without actually touching their body. And it's also why when you shoot at one of the bigger characters, sometimes your bullets seem to whiz right through them. The hitboxes are the same for all characters, regardless of size, but people like to swear by the fact that you should use the skinnier, smaller characters because they feel like they have an advantage. And hey, it's placebo effect. If they feel like they have an advantage, let them use it. But in reality, they really don't. At number 7, you can use emotes to skip healing timers. Now, this was a pretty interesting glitch that was active a while back, but it was pretty quickly patched out by Epic after attention was brought to the Fortnite Battle Royale subreddit. In this glitch, you could use the rock, paper, scissors emote to completely skip the user's timers on bandages and big shield potions. So the effects would happen instantly. It was pretty insane, and you can obviously see how this would be a little game-breaking for the meta. Thankfully, Epic quietly patched this out in April of 2018. However, since this was possible with only one emote, it definitely raises the question of what other actions are possible with any of these other countless emotes that are added to the game. And that's one of the issues that Fortnite and Epic has. They add so much stuff so often that they have to make sure they don't get slid in there with bugs and glitches. At number 6, launch pads negate fall damage. This is a pretty interesting little trick that people have taken, they've taken to it. I'm sure everyone here is aware that if you fall a certain distance in Fortnite, you'll start taking fall damage. A general rule of thumb is that you'll start taking fall damage after about 3 stories worth of falling. But did you guys know that if you land your fall on a launch pad, you can actually negate all of that fall damage and go straight into a jump animation. So this is one of the few myths on this list that is actually correct. It is actually factual. Give it a shot next time. Just be sure to aim correctly or you'll end up regretting it. Cracking into the top 5 today, tires negate fall damage. This is a myth that also, well, it used to be true, but unfortunately, it isn't a thing anymore. So I can understand why people still believe it. Back when the Portaforts were first introduced, people quickly discovered that if you jumped off a tire, all of your fall damage for that specific bounce would be negated. It would be absorbed. So people were doing some insane things like using the tires from Portaforts to bounce off cliffs with absolutely no consequences. However, this was once again quietly patched out by Epic Games quickly after being discovered, so you can't do that anymore. But what about the other way around? Let's spin it around. Can tires save you from fall damage if you land on them? Well, kind of. There's a bit of uncertainty about this one because of how inconsistent the tires can be. There are plenty of clips of people falling from insane distances and then saving themselves on a tire, but there's also plenty of clips of people failing that exact thing. So, I mean, it's a little unclear how exactly the tires function in relation to fall damage, but one thing is for certain, then that's a fact that tires do not negate your fall damage anymore. At number 4, the minigun is unviable. One thing that many players seem to think about the minigun is that it's totally unviable and should never be picked up during gameplay unless it's a last resort. And while I agree with this to a certain extent, it's not totally true when you look at the numbers. The minigun is definitely not a good weapon for combat unless it's a very early game thing where people don't have shields. But that's really not what the gun is supposed to be used for. The minigun is extremely effective at taking down structures due to its high rate of fire, lack of reload, and its insanely high DPS. Ninja himself even said on a stream not too long ago that if a squad has a minigun or two, you can completely invalidate an enemy's approaches just by spamming it at them. So, while you may be correct for thinking the minigun sucks for combat, it's definitely not an unviable thing. It does serve a purpose. At number 3, the suppressed SMG is unviable. I'm not going to lie here. If you told me the suppressed SMG was unviable a couple weeks ago, I would have agreed with you. However, after the recent buff to the weapon, it's actually not bad. I can't believe I'm saying this. Unfortunately, since it's been such a trash gun for so long, people still tend to think of it that way. Recently, Epic Games gave the suppressed SMG a long-awaited buff, cranking up the damage and the effective range while still keeping its audio muted and its bullet as hit scan. So, this thing is actually pretty solid now for the early game. Now, is it as good as a shotgun or a tactical SMG? Absolutely not. But it is a decent starter weapon now. At number 2, you can warp through walls. There have been some weird things happen recently regarding wall warping and people shooting through player-made structures, so let me go ahead and break it down so you guys can understand it a little better. In the game's current state, when a player lays down a structure, the structure hitbox does not immediately come into existence. Instead, the hitbox will come into existence only once the structure is not touching any other player. For example, if you click the build ramp button, but there's another player's head sticking through the ramp when you do it, the ramp's hitbox will not fully load in until that player moves to either side of the structure. Now, because of this lack of a full hitbox, it also allows bullets and explosives to pass through the structure, giving the illusion that people are shooting through the walls. So, this myth is both true and false. While it is possible to warp through walls, it's not something that happens on command. At number 1 today, wins dictate player skill. This is probably the most common myth I see thrown around the Fortnite community. People seem to think that the number of wins you have and the frequency in which you get those wins dictates how good of a player you actually are, when in reality, that's not the case at all, and many top players and streamers will agree with this. There's a huge difference between playing for kills and playing for wins. After all, you can camp in a corner and not engage anybody the entire game and then just pop out at the very last second, get one kill, and get your win. But does that make you a good player? Absolutely not, because the second you go up against someone who knows what they're doing, you're going to get demolished. So while good players do tend to have really high win counts, keep in mind that that doesn't go the other way, and that win count does not represent your overall skill. Your skill at Fortnite is dictated by your ability to shoot, build, loot, and apply all of those things under pressure. It is not dictated by your ability to play cheesy for some wins. And there you have it, my friends. Those are 10 Fortnite myths that most of them, unfortunately, can be debunked. You guys let me know if there's any others out there. Which of these did you believe? And if you guys enjoyed the video or found it informative, drop a like on it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Turn on those notifications. You can see it on the screen right now. It's a simple process to make sure you get notified whenever a new video goes live on the channel. Thank you for all the support as always, guys. There is a playlist below with all the other top 10 gaming things and everything Fortnite, and I will see you guys soon.